But when they need they change their mind. What kind of people they do? They are freedom fighters. What kind of people they do? They are freedom fighters. You freedom fighter, you raping our women. They are freedom fighters. Freedom fighter, you killing our children. They are freedom fighters. Freedom fighter, you destroying our country. They are freedom fighters. Ayo, 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 ayo. Ayo, ayo, ayo. Ayo, 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 ayo. Ayo, 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 ayo. Ayo, 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 ayo. Ayo, ayo, ayo. Ayo, yo, ayo, ayo. Ayo, 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 ayo. When they were coming, they said they were liberators. When they were coming, they said they were liberators. But when they came their time, they changed their mind. When they came their time, they changed their mind. What kind of people they see? They are freedom fighters. What kind of people they see? They are freedom fighters. The freedom fighter, you raping our women. They are freedom fighters. The freedom fighter, you killing our children. They are freedom fighters. Freedom fighter, you destroying our country. They are freedom fighters. Ayo, 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 ayo. Ayo, ayo, ayo.
And I know definitely this is a song that many of you, or probably let's say the question, there are a lot of people out there asking our government official, the government of President Joseph Boakai. This is exactly the question many people are asking out there. Which type of people are they? Are they destroying our country? Intimidating people? Oh yeah. Definitely, Liberia, as we always say, is at a crossroad. We need to pray for peace. I'm Stephen Compton. Today is Monday, the 9th day of June, 2025. What is happening in our country? These are questions that people are asking. If you are following us, tell us exactly where you are following us from. Send in your comments on issues we'll be talking about here this morning. Definitely, we are going to read through your text messages. You know, these things that are happening in our country is so concerning to everybody. People are wondering exactly where is our country heading, where we have police officers who are beating on people, intimidating people, doing things that are contrary to their functions and duties. And so today, with the first segment of today's edition of the program, we'll talk a bit of, do a bit analysis on the political atmosphere of our country. And the second segment of our show, we play host to Mr. Josh Etengbe. Josh Etengbe is an environmental justice advocate and labor expert. We'll also be talking about some labor issues here on the platform today. Also, very quickly, let me now bring in my colleague there from the United States of America. Good morning, Mr. Solomon Barker-Reeves.
Good morning, Stanton, Compton. Good morning, Masale, and good morning to our wonderful people of Liberia, and not forgetting We Nation. It is a great pleasure to be here so that we can talk about matters of importance regarding Mama Liberia.
Thank you so much, Mr. Reeves. Let's now cross over to Mr. Aliyu Mansale. Good morning, Mr. Mansale.
Good morning, Stevie Conto. I don't want to call you Stato Conto. The
We Nation may pay fine.
Call you Stato Conto. Yeah, good morning, good morning, Mama Liberia. This Aliyu Masade, glad to be here this morning. I want to take this time to wish my daughter happy graduation as she graduated today. Thursday was her birthday. Today is her graduation.
Wow.
And sorry to say, I won't end the show.
Okay. I see you in green and black.
Yeah, graduation 8:30, 9:30, we finish with that team. People basically just people from 10 o'clock to 4 o'clock. People can give false promises because they less basic. So I will now end the show with you. I'm sorry to say.
Okay, all right. So we want to say congratulations to the graduate, and we say thanks to you also and her mom for the stand you have taken. We hope to see more of that anyway.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, so we are here very quickly. Let me recognize people who are following us. Peter one day is following us. Godwin Zize is also following us, and Charles Foley is also following us as well. Okay, so that's good. So very quickly, Mr. Masalo will be leaving us soon. So now let us discuss a bit about what is happening in our country. This gone Friday, some lawmakers, including the former speaker, as you may know, they were invited at the headquarters of the Liberia National Police. And after a certain period of time, when they went there, initially, they should have, talked with them, but the process was delayed. And after a certain period of time, so those people were detained and later on taken to the central prison there. And there where they are, I'm told they should be leaving from there today to go to the Monrovia City Court to the lawyers and other things to answer to charges that the government placed against them in regards to the burning of the Capitol building that which you people may know about. But now there are some issues surrounding this whole thing, right? If you can recall, the former speaker, along with other lawmakers, including Honorable Priscilla Cooper, who was later on freed. And I just listened to the police RG on ERBC a moment ago before coming on the show here, wherein he said that the reason why Mana Cooper was taken away from the other lawmakers who were detained is because the prison facility there was no other any other prison facility that a woman could go to, and he never wanted to put Mana Cooper among the men. That was the reason why he said through Mana Cooper's lawyer she was able to go home that night while the other people spent the night there and later on taken to the Monrovia Central Prison. So these are things that are happening. And on yesterday, the political leaders, opposition political leaders, including the former president, the former vice president, D. Mazwe Kimia, and the rest of the people there from the opposition political parties, they were able to speak to the nation on a political show that which we brought live here also. And they were able to talk about the peace and security of our country. As I told somebody that it is so good that people who are opposition leaders, they are people that are tolerant. The former president, he one person that everyone should give credit to when it comes to maintaining the peace of our country today. If not so, Liberia wouldn't have been to where it is now if it were not for the peaceful nature of the former president. The President Boyka today, who is, performing, I have to say, there is a dictatorship government where you have the police officers intimidating people, moving on people in and out. Have been president by this time, if not for the former president, peaceful nature. So there are a lot of things are happening in our country here. But I will just give you people the time, as usual, so that you can be able to give your own analysis very quickly. Remember, we have a guest coming up by 11:15, and so we just give our analysis. I'm more sure that Wednesday, by the grace of God, we'll go detail into this happening. But I just want you to give your analysis. We take few calls when our guest comes here, so that we can go on and on with the other segment of the show. So we'll just begin with Mr. Aliyu Masale, who will surely be leaving us so that he can be able to give an analysis about these issues that are unfolding in our country. So Mr. Aliyu Masale will cross over to you. Yeah, you can now come in.
Thank you, Stephen, for the time, and thank you, Solomon, also. My brother, what you just said from the police IG or maybe Solomon will talk on the more, but if that was the reason, instead of you doing that for people to politicize ANCA on the other way, as a professional IG, somebody who get all those experiences, I think the best thing you was to do, Funati Kofa will not run away from Liberia and the other people, then to save your character, your integrity, and that of the government, you will allow every one of them to go home. But if you will say, oh, this was the reason, for me, I don't fall for these rhetorics. I don't subscribe to the nonsense of these people. First of all, this is the question I always ask. Gregory Coleman, you went to school, I don't know, in America or wheresoever, a police IG, people know you, that you know your job. You live in this America. Solomon, you and I know. Gregory Coleman, prior to the burning of the Capitol building, when people broke chairs down in the Capitol building, you came and told we, the Liberian people, this building is highly protected. After you said that, people, when they entered that building and they put it on fire, where were the security that you said this building was protected? Even before that, people went in that building and removed the chairs. Where were the security when they removed the chairs? Where were the security when they set that place ablaze? Where were the security the next day again? People, when they entered that building and they called a wire from the former speaker office, all of these things, where were the security? When I listened to that scrap, he was talking like a press conference, or 65, 67 person were arrested. Those people that were arrested, this is what I want to know. When last did you ever hear somebody say, oh, my daughter or my son have been arrested by the Liberia National Police or for the burning of the Capitol, he or she undergoing investigation? When last did you hear, oh yes, this other police officer, that other police officer is undergoing investigation, they were assigned at the Capitol building? When last did you hear this thing? I want to know, because the only one I know, those people that were working in the speaker office, these are people that have been tortured and undergoing investigation. Solomon and I know, Gregory Coleman, you know, you've been in this country. If such a thing happened, the first people to be investigated are those security that were on ground. Where were you people for people to come and enter the Capitol building? They took chairs from there. And those people that took the chairs, they are in the country. Under what motive did you people take the chair from the Capitol building? These are people to be investigated. When you look at this thing happening, then you say, you're shooting politicians, this and that, what have you? No. We are not stupid. When I came to the country, New Day, in 5 months' time, people enter my house, clear everything. When the police came, the first thing they ask for, how many people have access to your house key? Solomon, you and I know that would be the first question. The second question was, where is your security camera on your house? So they can play the camera to know how the person entered the house. And who is that person? The third thing was, do you have insurance on your things? But Gregory Coleman, you know all of these things. So under what motive those people took the chair from the Capitol building, and you know them? Have you investigated them to ask them why they had to take the chair prior to the burning of the Capitol building, and you know them? Have you investigated those security? Solomon, you and I know, during the campaign, when the assassination attempt happened on President Trump, now at that time he was former president, the Secret Service boss, she had to resign. It was negligent. You responsible to protect the life of the former president. Where were you? Where was the Secret Service? At the end of the day, she had to resign. So if Liberia is a serious country with a serious-minded government who is not into what is happening in the country, but now Joseph Boakai have fired Gregory Coleman or asked him to resign. That is our Capitol building. You told me as a president, and you, the police ID, you make the country to know that that place is protected. Where were the security that you assigned them for them to burn the building? This is what a serious-minded government and the president do. But today, see what is happening. I even said reading something that from the central bank, and those banks supposed to give bond at they had to get for them before they can get born to do these people. You know why they're coming back to the country again? So how you say we should say that we shouldn't politicize this thing? Take the mud from your brain and put your brain back, because some of you under think politically. For that, if I go to jail, they see people and the rest of the all of will that solve Liberia problem? Will that put medicine in the hospital, teacher salary, all of these trouble we are going through? What will that do for us? This is not about politics. This is about the pride, the dignity of our country. We don't have to politicize everything. This is not nice. So this is the question I always ask. Some of the people, when they go back home, people say, oh yeah, these people came to change things. They went, they learned, they came with all the experiences. But it is quite unfortunate that when they go, they only dance to the tune of a government. This is so sad for our country. You see, these people, why is it the majority bloc? None of them have been investigated. The whole thing is only tied to the minority bloc. And the problem was between both groups. So everyone that is supposed to undergo investigation. More precise, they the one went and took those chairs from the building before even it was set ablaze. Under what motive? Why were they making them to take these chairs from the building? And you just empathize it. What is happening in the country? Why, if it were your brother, your father, or your sister, or not going such a thing for a government? Empathize it. Put the politics aside. This is not good for our country. As far as I am concerned, speaking as an individual, Ali Masale, at the end of the day, this is not going to be free and fair. Those people will be prosecuted and put behind bars, no matter what they do. In as much as the president, he gave breath to this thing, is going to happen. Because the capital was set ablaze, the next day, no investigation had gone on. The president just came. This is awesome. Where is the fire service director? Where is the boss for the fire service? No, nothing. The president said this is awesome. Do you expect Gregory Cuomo or the justice minister to render any judgment that will not go in line with the president's statement? Hell no, that's not going to happen. So, my brother, that's all I have to say. We have to pray for our country. This thing that led off from 1990 to 2003, when you get a president that sees himself as the law and gospel, he wants to be a dictator. All the war that fought in that country, Joseph Boakai was never there. He was lying down in Sierra Leone. Let us not be mistaken. Let's keep that one at the back of our head. We pray for our country, but what is happening, this is what led us to 14 years of civil crisis that we pray against. So that's all I have to say on this matter. Thank you, guys. I will be following the show, but that is all I have to say. Today is the grand. Amina, you basically said I wanted to speak to you. So,
okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna say where's a graduation woman, but
the gun said and not small gun.
I know, right?
Whoa!
Speak to the
Congratulations, Amina.
Congratulations. Congratulations. Okay, all right.
I will be following the show, but I beg to leave, please.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Aliyu Masale, for your analysis on this. And before Mr. Reeves comes in, so I'm told that the former president with some members of the opposition CDC are currently at the Temple of Justice. The lawmaker should be going there today. So as you may have heard yesterday during their deliberation on the political show, he promised that he would be there, and he's there now. And so we are still following whatever happens. We are going to update you, our people who are following us this morning. But one thing I can tell you for sure, the president is there with some members of the CDC. They are already there. Okay, so Mr. Reeves, just very quickly, you can give your own take on this issue.
Thank you very much. I've been saying this, that Liberia, we don't want strong opposition party. Starting from the onset or the inception of Liberian polity, we had two political parties. The Republican Party, that was of the light-skinned pioneers or Congo people, or however you want to call them. They were the Republican Party, and the dark-skinned pioneer or Congo people They were the True Party, and of course the True Party, because of the number of whatever reason, they started finding fault on the Republican Party, and the Republican Party was banned, and Liberia became one party state. I want for us to pay close attention what is unfolding. The True Party became a dominant party for over 100 years. President Boakai was a member of the True Party. Then, of course, after those many years, then multi-party democracy was reintroduced to Liberia by Gabriel Bacchus Matthew and other people. When Bacchus Matthew and those other became a strong opposition to the True Party, they were thrown in jail. Some of them they were banned from their parties were banned and things like that. So after the that, then the NDPL or the People's Redemption Council came into power. And then, of course, when the People's Redemption Council came into power, our multi-party democracy was elevated again. After some times, the NDPL, which became the replacement for the True Party, they also, other political party, opposition party, they begin to silence them, silence them, ban some of them. Madam Salif, they're all part of that. And of course, they fought their way through. I'm saying all of this to say that the Unity Party, they are following that same trend where they don't want any strong opposition. And if we don't pay attention to that, I don't know what else we're going to pay attention to. When it comes to the RG, the RG was with the Ellen Boakai administration. This man, according to some of the story I heard or news, something that I heard, he was dismissed from the Ellen Boakai administration based on reasons, probably being brutal, not being professional, and a lot of stuff led to his removal from the police and what have you. When Boakai came in, everybody that was removed from our government by Ellen, because she was the head, Boakai brought those people back, and those people, they have been very not just being unprofessional, but they disregard the Constitution. Gregory Coleman, he made a statement, and that really turned me off as somebody who got some education from the West or from America. For him to have said they're trying to build a separate area where anybody who want to exercise their constitutional right, meaning for demonstration or protest or expressing their grievances to the government, that they should not be on any other ground but a specific ground that they are building. So looking at that, what that proves to me is being a dictator and also not respecting the rule of law. This is where we are going. Coming to President Weah, of course, President Weah may be peaceful, but it's not because President Weah is peaceful. That's why the rest of the other Liberian people, they are the way they are. The problem is the Liberian people, they're tired of for their children to be killed for no reason, because when our politicians come to power, they don't have time for them. So nobody will want to go to risk their life for the richness of an individual who use the populace to get into power, and then when they get into power, you cannot even call them for them to answer your phone. Nobody going to risk their life like that. If the Liberian people, if they are not experienced such thing, where majority of the common citizens, they were slaughtered during the Liberia carnage, it would have been a different thing. But nobody want to go to die for whether you are lawmaker or whoever you are. So the Liberians themselves, seeing that these guys, they don't do anything for us when they get into power, so why should I risk my life? This is one of the major reasons why people are not going out there to do whatever they're supposed to do. I'm not saying nobody will assemble, but when people assemble, it will be less than what it would have been. So that's one of the reasons. I thank God for the peaceful nature of President Weah. But our people, they are not protesting, they are not doing this in mass number because they don't want to be killed for nothing. Many of you guys advocated for them, whether on Freedom Radio or on King's Radio. When they got into power, you pay your own way to come to Freedom Radio before you can do this. And then at the end of the day, whatever money they pay you, it has already surpassed the money that you spent. And none of them took a motorbike to say, okay, I'll take this motorbike, it's our stuff. So nobody want to come and kill themselves or their children to kill themselves because of some kind of a lawmaker or some kind of a government official that want to do things for himself. This is why the situation is not like that. When it comes to Fonati, I said that before. I was kind of upset when he made that a decision. But anyway, that was it, and we got away with that. Fonati knows very well as a lawyer that anytime you go, anybody they arrest you on a Friday, the possibility of you not coming back until Monday is there. He should have, I don't know whether he got a lawyer. His lawyer should have been negotiated, and also Friday was the end of the Islamic holiday or get together or whatever we call it, the festival, which normally we say Ibrahim Day. Looking at Ibrahim Day, they send you communication that you should report to the head office. I mean, police headquarters, and your lawyer could have said, you know what, this is not a letter, writ of arrest and all of that. You are asking my client to come for questioning. We'll honor that, but we'll do that on Monday. We'll do that on Tuesday. Nothing they could have done. That is the protocol. He didn't do that. He marched there. He was the first person to get there by 9 o'clock. I don't know what really ran with his lawyer mind. So those are some of the things regarding Cooper. It was just something. They say, oh, and other people were arrested with these people. It was just a bit covered up. So even if there was no room, the room that they put Madam Scott in, if you were not available to give it to a man, then of course they say, okay, you're not going home. You will sit in the office. Even if they're in the office, you will stay there in the same area. That was not done. So that exposed their plan. And those are some of the things.
Okay.
Liberia, we are in a bad situation when it comes to the rule of law. Okay. And our people, it is not like before. The government of Liberia does not only depend on the Liberian military, does not only depend on the Liberian police. President Boakai has good friends around us. Number one, that of Sierra Leone. And when they bring those other police officers from Sierra Leone and give them Liberian police uniform, you will not know the difference. This guy not going to be saying anything because they know their plan. Because when they speak, you will think that, oh yeah, they are Sierra Leone or they are this. So you should know all of those plans that are possible. We have the Ivory Coast that is a good friend to President Boakai based on some of the stuff that are going on in Burkina Faso. So all of those establishments between our president Boakai and that of the Ivory Coast and that of Sierra Leone, we have seen all of those stuff. So he's not depending on Liberian police for all of those stuff. You should have in mind that those are some of the things that are going on. Yes.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. So I just want you to check your WhatsApp. I sent you some information for the second segment of our show. Our guest will be here any moment from now. And so we'll soon go to the telephone line so that we can take a few calls and hear from our people regarding this particular issue. But let me say this. People, like we have said over and over, this government is up to something. This particular government, as we have said over time, they are up to something. I told someone, I said, this is just like somebody wants to test a water, right? These are things they are doing. Mark my words. There will come a time under this administration where they will even be going for people like former President Weah. If they do this one, if nobody comes after them, if nobody stands his or ground to say no, this is what, or this is the way you people are supposed to proceed. These people, they are not criminals. No, they were not guilty of the crime you accuse them of. When a person is accused of a crime, he or she is presumed innocent until a court of competent jurisdiction finds that particular person guilty. So let us just see it that way, and that's the way it's supposed to be. These people are presumed not guilty. They are not criminal to be treated in the form and manner in which they are treated. So this is a clear indication that this particular government wants to go after political figure. They want to silence critics of this government. That's what they want to do. And again, the IG exposed the government to go on national radio to tell the Liberians that the reason why Mana Priscilla Cooper was free through her lawyer is because there was nowhere for her to be placed. Are you kidding me? Is that a reason enough? Look, this country, as we have always said, is for every one of us. Today, you might be in power. You feel that you'll be in power forever, so you will just treat anybody anyhow. But again, like my bossman said this morning, Mr. Sam Andrews, I will follow him, and he said something that really touched my heart, and that's the fact that even after the war, there are certain time in Liberia here that police officers, people who served in the army then, they couldn't show themselves in the community. You know why? Because they were taking command from their bosses without knowing that the particular period at which they were, or that particular time, were wiped away. And another time will have come. And so, at that time, people were hiding themselves. They don't want to show themselves because people were going after them. Is that how we're supposed to, or go about in a society that want to be peaceful? The police. See what they did to CDC or chairman. Mr. John Kakor. See what they did to him. All on video camera. At which time the party chairman, hands were up. His hands were up. And you have the police officer with a command from the executive through the police IG ordering those police officers to drag the party chairman and train at the back of the pickup in a denigrating manner. Look, President Boyka, I think everybody's wish is for you to lead this country with your 6-year term in a very peaceful manner. But the stand that you are taking, your mindset to get this country to where it's not supposed to go, it will not happen. Thank God we have people who have a peaceful nature. If not so, we have been talking something different. Liberia is for every one of us, and we should live here peacefully. You shouldn't do things that will sway our minds from the bread and butter issue that you promised the people. Yeah, in Bond County, people are protesting your own people that you promised job, your own partisans that you turn your back on. But you are here targeting our political opponents. 0772239933 0886 0004497 07779803775 are the numbers that take few calls. Any moment from now, our guest will be here. Let's get this person. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. You have a minute, very quickly.
Yeah. Okay. Pastor Aaron McGill. Well, I want to give my input in this dimension. I will first want to say that the government of the Republic of Liberia should be able to accord the legal proceedings that is provided under the constitutionality of legal process to these individuals who have been incarcerated on crime against the state.
Okay, thank you. Let's get this other person. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Very quickly, you have a minute, please. Tell us your name and where you're joining us from.
Thank you so much, Sugar. I'm Jeanette Keita. I'm calling from Mama Point.
Jeanette, go ahead.
They say in a parable, when no man around, women will use lapper to kill snake. That the position Joseph Baka found himself into. Because the trap that he has settled, not only for he and his government alone, but for his entire generation. He said, do unto others as you wish them do unto you.
Thank you. Let me hold you there. Get this other person. Good morning.
Good morning. This is Pablo calling. As I'm talking now, I'm on my way going to the court. And I pray so God will say recover soon and come back to work.
All right.
That if I pray, it's really Papa. I couldn't get in. Okay, let's on to the point.
All right.
So going to the court, all will be there. We'll go there with peaceful manner.
Yeah, that's
but
what we
anything that people do will resist.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Let's take two more calls. Our guest is already here. This person, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Tell us the name and where you joining us from.
Okay, I'm Pastor Emmanuel Cooper. I come from Balanceville.
Yeah, Pastor, go ahead.
Yeah, my attention has been drawn exactly to what one of your guests talked about the recruitment of foreign mercenaries. It's unlawful, and it does not augur well for the regional forces in the Western Bloc.
Okay.
So we have to pay care attention to that because the day before, to the Ellen Johnson led government, they brought Nigerian people here, and they even had one of my late brother who was in the ERU then. They had to further accuse him because Liberian soldier or police will not be brave enough to brutalize their own citizens.
Okay.
So we have noticed that, and we need to pay care attention to that, and even start wrecking the manner of business.
All right. Okay. Thank you. Let me hold you there to the last caller, and this last caller. Good morning. Okay, one more call, then we take a break. After which time, when we come back, we bring on our guests here. 0772239933 0886304497 07779803775. The numbers to call and be a part of the program. Yeah, let's get this person very quickly. Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Morning, my brother. How you doing?
I'm fine. Tell us the name and where you calling from, Chief.
Yeah, Mr. Freeman from people. My brother, I didn't thank God the women can call, show, and appreciate you guys in the studio. The women. More often, anything happen in the country, like women, they can say they can say the higher wage. The women in the children. So into violence, they want to support violence in the country. They want to we all about the country.
No, we don't.
They will say, I tell you, everything, just politics.
We don't need that. Let's hold you there. Okay. All right. So I'm sorry. We are not taking any more calls. But let's take this break. When we come back, we bring on our guests here this morning. As I told you, we need to talk about some labor issues here. Yeah. So let me take this break and be just right back.
Exclusive from hotlbr.com.
When they were coming, they said they were freedom fighter. When they were coming, they said they were liberator. But when they eat their man, they change their man. What kind of people they sue?
They are freedom fighters.
What kind of people they sue?
They are freedom fighters.
You freedom fighter, you raping our women.
They are freedom fighters.
Freedom fighter, you killing our children. yo yo, ayo ayo, ayo 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 ayo. Ayo 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 ayo, ayo ayo ayo. Oh ayo yo ayo ayo, ayo 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 ayo.
Okay, all right, so welcome back, and we are back. So very quickly, let me bring in this information that you know, those jailed lawmakers, there's a possibility that they will fire in their bond, and probably they might be free, and so that's a very good news. You know, everything that we are talking about here is just something that we want for this particular issue or the particular situation to be done in a way, a manner that will be free and fair, right? We don't want people, you know, politicizing this whole issue and doing other things out of the way. And so that's good. That's a very good news, and we hope it is done. As I told you, the former president and his team are still there at the Temple of Justice there, who will bring you detail about that during our subsequent showtime. I'm sure Mr. Sam Andrews, when he comes on this afternoon, he's going to he's going to bring you updates. So I'm told that they have already left, but we'll bring you detail on that also. So thank you so much, and welcome back to the second segment of our program here this morning. So we have our guests here, and I guess it's your second time. Good morning first. Yeah.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to be again in your studio.
Yeah, that's good.
At least I was sweating, my man.
Yeah.
I feel so comfortable. Yeah.
Yeah. So it is good having you on. But very quickly, let me bring in my colleague from the state there. Yeah, he wants to greet you before we go into our discussion here. Yeah. So Mr. Reeves, go ahead, Chief.
Good morning, our dynamic guest. I think we're going to have an important discussion. But everything in Liberia, people say when they don't want to hear, they say that politics. But honestly speaking, everyday conversation, everyday life, even in the church, everything is politics, because politics is a science that deals with leadership and services. That's the bottom line. If you see somebody say, "Oh, when you elect me, I'm gonna build a tree house," or if you elect me, I'm gonna make sure that all the bird here they will get antibiotics, and all of those that's the services you're talking about. And if you elect him, that's the leadership you're talking about. So our Liberian people who always say, "Oh, everything are politics." Yes, life is politics. Jesus Christ, best politician. His approach, even Muhammad, those other people. So life is politics. Politics is life, and I want for our Liberian people to understand that every discussion we have, it is politics. Now, when a concern or lawmaker or minister, that when it is politics, life in general is politics. I just want to make that point clear.
Thank you so much, Mr. Reeves. So now let's now cross over to our guests here. And for the benefit of people who just joining us, I would like you to probably introduce yourself, who is Josh Tengbe. Let our audience get to know you.
So thank you very much, Stephen. Josh S. Tengbe is a labor expert, and he comes from the background of labor policies and globalization, and also from the background of water resource management and climate change. He's a lecturer lecturing environmental science at the University of Liberia. And he is a Liberian living in his country, trying to see how best to bring about good governance and that our workers are protected and safe environment are ensured to them.
Okay, all right, that's good. And that was just very important, so our audience out there can know who we have with us in studio here. So it is very important. Let's start with this. In recent time, the Labor Ministry, through its minister, Councillor Cooper, he spoke to the nation and through the press, and he gave an update on the number of permits that have been issued out to concession company and other companies around the country. Something over, I think, 1,000 or 10,000 or so. And this particular issue has raised a lot of concern. So let's start on this issue. What do you make of the minister's statement when it comes to the issue of the work permit?
So, firstly, let me say, and to reaffirm my position on the DISCO, that the first time the Minister of Labor, Bokra, appeared before the Liberian Senate, and he told them that he never went with the data or the information on the exact numbers. I don't think, like I said that day, the minister lied. It is not that he never had the data. He had it. But because the issue of how the positions, the jobs were given out, those meticulous information, that subscribe to the disbursement of Liberian people job, owing to the fact that we have the Bureau of Employment at the Ministry of Labor, and because the Bureau of Employment was not actualized, meaning he did not allow them to do due diligence. Take for an example, you needed to make sure that every company that want to hire foreign national, owing the fact that Liberians are here, you need to public the job. Okay. How? Chapter 7.1, I'm very sure, of the Decent Work Act of Liberia calls that for a job to be, given out, every private company should publish that job. It means you are not sure whether qualified Liberians are in the country to occupy that job, right? So in order to clear out your doubt as a entity, you need to work in conjunction with the Decent Work Act law. Okay. Public those jobs, make them public, so that people can apply. If nobody applying now, then you have already executed one of your basic functions by ensuring you follow the Decent Work Act and that the Bureau of Employment, information is clear on your part. But I'm very positive. Those were the mistakes, and like I said, those were the meticulous, information that were missing from the minister's first appearance, for which he could not say exactly everything. So that's why he went back and came back to say he has, over 10,000 jobs were issued in 6 months. And he also said something that was very funny to me. He said 75% of the 10,000 jobs were, let's say, people came to reapply. Your permit expired, you came to reapply. Okay, fine. So it means he's trying to tell us 2,484 jobs were given out in 6 months time. Because 2,484 is 25% of the 10,000. So that is the number of Liberian jobs that he gave out in 6 months time. So that means the issue of permit in our country means the minister is so focused on generating incomes for the ministry, which is not the sole primary responsibility of the Ministry of Labor. Your function is to protect, defend, support, create the education and awareness necessary for the survivability of the people, to ensure that the working environment are good. But no, so these things were done. So the minister's statement and his report is bogus, and I see it to be a slap in the face of the Liberian people, and that the people should stand up and demand their jobs.
Now, before my colleague comes in, looking at the Bureau of Employment at the Ministry of Labor, and with the Labor Minister, carry out these actions and leaving out a particular segment of the ministry that's supposed to handle this particular issue. Are you saying anything like a foul play or a sinister motive for which the minister does that?
You see, and this is where many of the times Liberians, we have to be careful on, when we're going to elections, we need to be careful on how to conduct ourselves after the election. That means the governance aspect of it. Because when you have power sharing, government, where you are rationing ministries according to people choice or preferences, then you marginalize the interest of the people. And this is where vast majority in past times of the ministers of labor that have worked there, that's where they generate their income from, through this work permit. The alien registration department at the Ministry of Labor falls under the assistant minister for the alien registration. So that department is solely controlled by the minister. That is his interest. If you can recall, the first 6 months of the minister work function at the Ministry of Labor was when he came out. He said that he is the first minister to generate approximately 5 to 6 million in 6 months time, and he said that he generated that money, and he's one of the most powerful resource income generator for the government. So where do you think that money came from? It came from the alien registration. And how you think it came? It came because every time that you generate cuts, that you generate income through the alien registration, the minister has his cut. And I can say this for free because CETIS Liberia is the entity that is responsible to give the alien registration card.
Okay.
CETIS Liberia is not a Liberian company, and I keep saying this. Liberian people need to stand up because you can have a company from Slovenia managing our database. So that company came to Liberia through the past administration, yes, but then that company, from information we have gathered, they have 60% of the income generated from the alien registration. So all that big move that the minister was making was just a clear scenario to prove that the money generated through the alien registration, the Ministry of Labor had 40%, and CETIS Liberia has 60%. But all of that 40%, the Ministry of Labor, through the minister himself, has 5%, and then along with some other senators who are in that, on those various committees, they also have their own share. So in short, at the end of the day, Liberia tend to benefit maybe 20% of the total money that is going to come up.
Wow. Okay, so let me bring in Mr. Reeves. Probably has a question on this particular issue. Mr. Reeves, our guest is listening to you.
Well, actually, I'm getting some review or revision of my mindset regarding our labor, the way it is set up over there. It's not set up in the interest of the Liberian people, and of course, based on statistics, that's what Mr. Tengbe is saying, and I'm in accordance with him, or I concur with him that is the purpose. Even by giving somebody a working permit, that does not mean the person should get that job. The job, if it is up for everybody, especially the Liberian first, then of course those people with that work permit, they will all apply for the job, and then the employment will be based on the policy that is set. Look at the Liberianization policy that we have. All of those things they are on record. Our government doesn't practice those stuff. They don't practicalize it. Even our decent wage that is there, they don't practicalize it, because all of them, just recently, when there was money for small farmers or for farmers, almost all of the lawmakers, those who are not even making farm, all of the other ministers, those who are not making farm before, or even if we're making small farm, because the money is available, they are the same person taking away what's supposed to have been given to the small farmers.
Okay.
I applied for sent somebody to apply for that, and they told me that, you don't have 100 acres of land, and then your animals, they have not reached out to this kind of number, so we cannot do that for you. But those people that in government, they're getting all of those benefits. So I want to concord with Mr. Tengbe that the bureau is there, but they don't follow the rule of law. And any government that does not follow the rule of law, that is the outcome. Majority of these guys that get the job, they give them, even after getting the permit, they give them extra money so that, hey, my uncle or my cousin or this person is my interest and then by giving the person the employer money, or those who work with that board, giving them money, they will pick the foreign people, because the foreign people, they know they're going to benefit, they're going to get more money, so they will take that. A Liberian person will not want to pay something on the ground because he doesn't really have it. And that is the disadvantage the people are taking of our country, because we don't follow the rule of law, and then we don't prioritize the interests of our labor force.
Okay.
So I don't really have question for him. I just want to buttress
okay.
what he said.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Reeves. So, Mr. Tengwet, you know, your argument in recent time, I have followed you. You have talked about the issue of the Decent Work Act violation. That's one of the argument you are pushing. You also push the argument of lack of skills and audit and workplace plan. That's another thing you also talk about, and you also push for the issue of rethinking work permit fees. Okay, so I will give you the time for the next 5 to 6 minutes to actually defend your position on this argument you have made over the period of time.
Thank you.
Okay.
So let me first start by saying this. Using sustainable labor programs and policy for a more balanced labor workforce will see workers supported and protected under the Decent Work Act and the ILO Convention.
Okay.
Convention 87 and Convention 89 supports workers. But Liberia, I keep saying, we don't follow these rules. Even though we subscribe and we sign this convention, Liberia is one of the founding members of the ILO. We sign these conventions, but we don't follow them. Now, the question is, like, I have few questions, and they are all going to answer your question.
Okay.
If the administration of Minister Cooper Craig is committed to rescuing Liberian jobs, because they keep the power on the mantle of rescue, right?
Yeah.
How do they justify the issuing of over 10,000 work permits to foreign nationals in just 6 months, especially when those jobs are protected under the liberalization policy? Now, to answer that, it's simple. So I see it that it is not job creation.
Okay.
It is job evacuation. Issuing 10,117 work permit with minimal vetting on both the law and the national labor security. It is something we call profiteering of Liberian suffering.
Okay.
That's just what's happening.
I would like you to repeat that once more.
Profiteering of Liberian suffering.
Okay.
It means the minister sits on the seat where he benefits at the expense of the Liberian
people. Okay.
So, where is the performance report of the Bureau of Employment? These are some of the yardsticks that we need to look at.
Okay.
The agency tasked with verifying labor availability before foreign permits are issued. What measurable actions has the Bureau taken to match Liberians with those same jobs?
Okay.
The Bureau has been silent, either due to incompetence or suppression.
Okay.
No labor audit, no public job matching data, nothing, no clear role in permit approval. This is deliberate omission of Liberians from the job market. It is not an oversight. It is not a mistake.
So in other words, the minister deliberately does that. Normally to deprive Liberians of getting the job they're supposed to get.
Of course.
Because there are many times where people normally come out the decrad over a certain concession area. Those workers that are working there, they will tell you that work that we Liberians supposed to do, we have foreigners doing that.
Of course.
And these things are happening.
Of course. That is the reason why hasn't the administrative enforced Section 7.1 of the Decent Work Act, which require companies to advertise vacancy locally and prove the absence of qualified Liberians before hiring foreigners? Why hasn't the minister enforced that section of the Decent Work Act? The reason is simple. This legal requirement is being violated systematically. It is a system-based thing. They do it internally.
A vicious cycle.
Of course. The ministry is not protecting jobs. They are selling jobs. The enforcement of this law Section 7.1 will revoke thousands of permits. And by now, I thought the minister was going to come out on the defensive side and say, despite we have wrong, but here is where we think we can be right. Okay. Going forward, we will utilize the function of the Bureau of Employment at the Ministry of Labor to mandate every foreign company or private entities to publish positions before they can hire. Like that, you know what you are doing? You're creating check and balances. Okay. Like that, you're creating a situation where Liberians will be prioritized over foreigners. So, if the ministry claims that foreign workers are filling jobs Liberians cannot do, why hasn't it conducted a national labor skill audit to determine what skills are missing and how to fill that gap through training and capacity building? If you come out as a minister through the Bureau of Employment, you say, okay, or through the Deputy Minister for Manpower and Development, you say that most of the foreign companies coming, that kind of job, that kind of skills that you don't have. Okay. So that while foreigners taking all of these jobs, then the Deputy Minister for Manpower and Development Planning at the Ministry of Labor, Steve Cordova, will go to the minister himself, say, oh, these skills are missing. How can we improve them? How can we work with other private entities to make sure Liberians have these skills so that they can be prioritized on these jobs? But the answer is, no such audit has been published. The claim that Liberians are unskilled is a convenient excuse. We need data. We need training initiatives and real investment in local labor programs.
Now, before you go further, there's a message someone sent in. I won't disclose the person's name for security reason. The person works at King Jaw in Grand Cape County specifically. And the person says, Stephen Compton, even here at King Jaw, before you get a job, before somebody is given a job, you have to pay money for that particular job. And we have complained to the Ministry of Labor about this particular issue. And since then, over years now, there has been no action taken. This is the message the person sent.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised because I was in King Jaw. We went to investigate some of the bad labor practices, and I can tell you for free that even to the extent the tribal chiefs, paramount chiefs, the traditional people, they will have to go and appeal, say, you're working in our community, or we got a benefit, but we're not benefiting, or we want you to please help us to get our children a job. So I wouldn't be surprised if a contractor, because I don't even know his status, whether he is.
No, he didn't mention his status.
Okay, so if a contractor or an employee can say that they have to pay money to get certain job or to get jobs, that these are the norms of our society. But the good question is, isn't it time we reconsider the structure of work permit fees? Perhaps by increasing fees on job that Liberian can do, that Liberian are qualified to fill, it would discourage foreign hire and prioritize national employment. Don't you think it is about time that we do that? Take for an example. Currently, the fee is $1,000.
Okay.
So if a foreigner say he wants this job that Liberian can do, don't you think it's about time that the Ministry of Labor, through other entities in Liberia, government and private entities, come and say we increasing the fee for foreign worker to work here, mostly to do job that Liberian can do, from 1,000 to 5,000. You don't think it will promote Liberians? You don't think foreigners will be in the position where they have to choose Liberians over foreigner? Because I can tell you for free, when I was working with the shipping line in Clarendon, there is a company whose name I will not mention for security reason. That man will bring 50 Indians every year to the country. When he bring them, you know what he can do? He will seize all of their passport. Because in India, if you're working in India and they pay you $50 US, you are very happy. So he will seize all of their passport when he bring them here. He gave them room for them to stay in. He paid them 600, 700, 800, 1,000. They're doing some of the jobs: sales agent, drivers, dispatcher. and you tell me Liberians are not yet qualified to do those jobs? We are, but because the Bureau of Employment is not empowered, like I said, they could be oppressed or suppressed by the minister himself.
Okay.
Given that they don't have that strength to go out, and since that is the case, we should adopt a tire fee system. Lower for foreign specialists, meaning we lower the fee for foreigners, and we increase the fees for Liberians. How do I mean? I mean, if we have foreigner coming here, but then on the impression of getting more money is reduced.
Okay.
Meaning the idea of you coming to my country to work, you will not be paid more than the Liberians said I can do those jobs. Foreigners will want to shift, and this will shift employer incentives towards hiring locals and restoring economic dignity. Economic dignity for Liberians will be restored. It will discourage foreigners from coming, and it will discourage employers from hiring foreigners over our own people.
Okay. All right. So before you go further, let me, let our people know that we have with us here Mr. Josh S. Tembwe. He is an environmental justice advocate and a labor expert here, providing some details surrounding our country's labor sector with specific reference to the Ministry of Labor, the minister's recent, statement issue about the number of permits that have been given out, a work permit that have been given out in recent times. So he's trying to deal with this issue and also go beyond, provide some remedy in how we can be able to resolve these kind of issues, this labor issue that are affecting our people in the country. Yes, so Chief, go ahead.
So,
and one, Chief, one of the things that you strike when you talk about what you just explained regarding paying Liberian more and paying the other people less, so that it will be balanced. It will be actually be in the interest of Liberia and the Liberians. There are a lot of NGOs that come to Liberia, and when they are there, they hire other non-Liberians, and they pay them more money for the same kind of job that a Liberian will be doing. So, are they honor the labor law of Liberia, those NGO? Because the same thing that we see in the country regarding whether that government job or concession job, the same thing happened to the NGO, whether they were working for the United Nations organization or they're working for the USAID American organization. Will that labor law or practice be applied to those kind of entities? Why you just explain?
So, on our law, people who come in with the portfolio of experts, you have different work permit that is subscribed to you, right?
Okay.
Now, I think that fee should be. I have to do some research on that.
No problem.
But,
no problem. Yeah.
On our law, a foreigner who is an expert, you can obtain certain salaries.
Okay.
But you should fall in the position of executives.
Okay.
You should be part of the executive board. Take for an example, you can be managing director. You can be executive director. You can be assistant executive director, assistant managing director. You can be operation manager. Okay, and you have to make X amount of the salaries. Okay, above Liberians, but you cannot be salesman, sales manager. You cannot be logistician. You cannot be dispatcher. You cannot be driver. Liberians should occupy all of those jobs. Now, I take this for free. There was 2023 when I was conducting the feasibility study to write my thesis.
Okay.
I went to Ghana. I went to the Ghana Labor Congress, and we will try to review the benchmark that has been set for foreigners to get job in Ghana. bro, I was surprised from the start of Ghana Labour Congress reform law to the end. It say Ghana, it say Ghanaians. So then we try to push the same argument that is now raised, where when you have experts coming to the country that have expertise that Ghanaians don't have. Do you know what the guys told us? They said, if those people are coming, we expect them to come and occupy CEO positions, managing director positions. And that position, it means they will have to hire a Ghanaian to work with them so that they can be training that person so that that Ghanaian can take over in no subsequent time. Now the question is, are we not following similar laws? Because similar laws are from the ILO. In Ghana, subscribe to
on which Liberia falls.
Of course. Okay. Ghana subscribe to all of those functions of the ILO, all of those conventions. And Ghana is subscribing to them. Why can't we? Why can't we also do the same thing? Why can't we protect our workers? It's because of two things. Because of greed and corruption. Because one man thinks he will use the alien registration function to build 30 houses in 6 years. Because one man thinks he can use the Ministry of Labor as a way to employ his entire family. I tell you for free, go to the Ministry of Labor. The Deputy Minister for Administration, his brother is a Comptroller General. Go to the Ministry of Labor. The Deputy Minister for Administration is his sister is working as a dispatcher, where the office assistant of one minister is making 180, but the one who is working as a dispatcher without portfolio, with even no job description and no employment letter, is making 480. Go to the Ministry of Labor, where the minister himself, his sons are. Bro, this thing is a systemic problem. It is not a problem that just came out.
Okay.
The people refuse to prioritize the Liberian people because of the selfish greed. And this pattern will continue unless the Liberian people stand up.
Okay, let me just hold you there very quickly. One of my colleagues, Mr. Aliyu Masale, is on the line, and he wants to speak on these issues as well. Let me see what I can get on. Mr. Masale, are you getting me now?
Yes, Stevie Konto, how are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine, and we are here with our guest. You know, he have been talking about a wide range of issues about the Liberian labor sector. So he's following. Do you have a question for him, or you want to say something as in regards to the discussion here?
Yeah, I just want to say something quickly in regards to the question for King George, because I worked in King George for 4 years, and that is the system in King George. Nobody will get job in King George when you don't pay money. Speaking to you personally, my brother-in-law is the town chief. That is the system there. Sometimes the company will say, oh yes, we want 20 workers, we want 25 workers. And they will tell the town chief will say, okay, I will send 10, or the co-chair, the youth leader, the elders, and he will divide the number by these people. And then you will have to go to them. When the town chief say, oh yeah, before you go in, you have to give me 300 US, you will pay it. You go to the women wing, you go. So that's the system in King George. Since I've been working there for 4 years before I could leave Liberia, that's the system. Nobody can get job in King George if you don't pay money. This is why they do it there. That's the system. You can't get a job in King George if you don't pay money. Right. So that's an old age problem, and this is why you see people killing themselves there for position because of these things.
Okay, all right, Mr. Aliyu Masale, thank you so much for your input. We really appreciate.
The question a brief question that I have for Mr. Tengbe is, I mean, you emphasize Liberians for the job, but equally so, the ministers and his relatives, they are Liberians. Are they qualified for this job, or how will you make the distinction between Liberians based on what you just mentioned? That's for me to play the devil advocacy.
So no, it is good sometimes to be objective in your arguments. Now, if the assistant minister office assistant has a BSc, right? and he making salary of 180, a salary that he has not received for the past 9 months. Those boss are currently crying. It is not because they are not speaking. I got friends at the Ministry of Labor.
Okay.
The people have work, and they are still being regarded as contractors. Work for over 8-9 months. They just say there, 1 month salary 1 month ago. Now that is not his the question. Now the question is, the response is, if the office assistant for one of the minister is making 180, and a high school graduate who is a relative of the minister or the deputy minister for administration is making 480. The office assistant has a BSc, and the relative of the minister is a high school graduate. Then you be the judge. Then you tell me whether one is more qualified than the other.
Okay.
And that is the situation at the Ministry of Labor.
Okay. All right. So I think he addressed that. But let's see what I can go to the line quickly. 0772239933. 0886304497 077980375. The telephone lines have been activated. Let's talk with the person. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Your name and where you joining us from?
Let me say hi. This is James Labra, and I call you from the township of West Point.
Go ahead very quickly. We're running out of time, Chief.
Thank you. Let me say hi to your studio guest also and hi to Solo.
Okay.
You see, I want to say thank you to you guys for such a wonderful discussion. That's where my heart very lies.
Okay.
We see Lebanese people. I want to ask your studio guest. We see Lebanese people behind that counters and even selling in the store, especially on Broad Street. You will see them in Broad Runner. You will see them selling in the store, and even behind the counter, they're serving at store ball. I want you to tell me, is it right for them to do so?
Okay. Okay.
Is it their right to do so for them to be selling in the store while Liberians are able to do that?
He got a question. I'm sure he will answer it. Let's get this other person. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Very quickly. Go ahead.
Mr. McGill, and I'm calling from Chigizo Factory. But what I want to stress at, I'm coming from the angle of the labor minister himself.
Okay.
He is the lawyer. He is the lawyer for Duapla. And that I see it as a conflict of interest. And so for this reason, you have many of our people being marginalized when it comes to employment status.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Let me get this other person. Good morning.
Good morning, Custom.
Yeah, very quickly. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, ma'am.
The Minister of Labor is talking about the payment of the solution for suffering of the solution. They're not insurance Liberia solution. They insure their own self. Before we talk, see the Liberia come and get to when they come in to feel fat or forget about it. The next insurance for us.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you ever so much. So let's take 2 more calls and see how best to go back to our studio guests. There are a couple of things we're supposed to talk about here all the time. So 0772239933 0886304497 07778 0375. The numbers while we stay with the 2 more persons, let's go back to our studio guests here. There were some concerns that were raised so that he can be able to address them, coupled with other issues that he didn't touch or didn't talk about, to be able to touch them very quickly. Yeah, Mr. Temwe, go ahead, Chief.
So to the caller who asked if a Lebanese man can serve as a store boy, behind a counter, accountant. No.
Okay, let me hold you there and get this person. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah, very quickly.
Yeah. Let's see what the people on the country want to see Saturday to Abu Bakar Kamara district.
No, we're discussing that one. We're discussing labor issue here. We'll come to that one. Yeah, we'll talk it. Yeah, so yeah, go ahead, Chief.
So you cannot have, because if a Lebanese man leave from his country to come to our country, to open business, and the government can tell you, say you need to come with certain amount of money. You know why? Because they see him as a foreigner and see him as an investor. So, according to the Liberalization Act,
just hold a minute. Let's get this pressing. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead very quickly. Okay, I think the president just called. Yeah, go ahead.
So according to the Liberalization Act, a foreigner cannot serve the position of an accountant. Let's just say junior accountant for that matter, sales boy for that matter. Someone who is willing to come outside and even do retail business. Imagine, no. Our law does not support that. It cannot.
Okay.
So those positions are to be occupied by Liberians.
Okay, let me see. Good morning.
Hello, brother. How are you doing?
I'm okay. Very quickly, you are last caller.
Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Studio Guest. I want to talk on issue, you guys, the labor issue. The problem with labor is not only from labor ministry itself, as we requested as Liberia to be a Liberian citizen, where the lawmakers, they put a Google laws into power. They said this will be $43, $143 is not the money for a citizen to work. So, before the money and that money finish, the lawmakers sat down and said that this will be, it is something where beautiful. I'm looking at the labor minister too high in part to play. But the problem is, minute from the House of Legislature, you get me? All the minutes are in our places like the Western Trust, and the minute get struck there, they are renting the people higher from there.
Okay, let's show you that. Thank you. Yeah, so let's just conclude on we just have 4 more minutes to go.
Let me agree with the last caller.
Okay.
That the decision out of Liberia is not in the interest of the Liberian people, and for this reason, we at the Liberal Labor and Government Alliance have been calling for reform. We have always asked that the government of Liberia, through our legislators, they conduct a reform. They need to change that law. It's either we merge the CSA standing order with the decision out of Liberia to create a stronger labor law, because I can tell you for free, even the old labor law that we have is better than the December Act.
Okay.
The December Act does not create any situation where it would describe punishment if an employer goes against this person.
Yeah, this person.
You read the entire December Act, it's just like a prepositional phrase. If there is no measures. So the December Act is like a bulldog that has no tooth. So it cannot bite, and this is the reason why the decision because the decision Act was created as a test by the ILO to see if member states will want to subscribe to it.
Okay.
And I tell you for free, go and do your research. Liberia was the only country that adopted it. No other country adopted the full decision Act of the ILO except for Liberia. And why? Because the representatives to the ILO from Liberia were corrupt, they were greedy, they were pushing for their own money. The country needed to get certain money from the ILO to support that project in Liberia. And based on that, we decided to kill our workers by adopting such a useless law that does not support the worker. It does not create the enabling environment for workers survival. So we cannot have this law. We need to reform that. I agree with the last quarter. So to conclude shortly, sustainable labor management is crucial. Let me just say this.
Okay.
For preserving jobs, for Liberian first, and then if no Liberian is available, before we can seek foreigners from outside of our country, because it works in line with the Liberalization Act. So it's better to advertise our local jobs in line with Section 7.1 of the DZY Act. Because if you don't advertise them, then you have no defense line to come and say Liberians were not qualified for this job. How did you come up with such a situation? How can you convince us that 10,000 jobs were given to foreign workers, on good accord when you did not advertise any job? When those private entities, those employers did not advertise any job. So we need to see how best to enforce the law against companies that refuse to advertise local job. Go through the Bureau of Employment. Go through the Human Resource Department. Question these people. Send out data officers. Send out labor task force to all of the private entities, companies. Go there, review the human resource policy. Go and see how they are conducting employment. Go and see who they are employing. Request these things. The Ministry of Labor can do it. They have the power, but they are not doing it. And thereby lead to my call for action. Now, the call to action is very simple. Everyone, labor issues are everybody's business. Because laborers are the bedrock of every society. So we need to call on the Ministry of Labor to utilize Convention 87, Convention 89. We need to ask our government through the legislators to merge the Decision Act of Liberia with the CSA standing order. If that is not done, the labor law of our country will not be sustainable in the interest of the people, and the people will still struggle, despite the fact they have all of the biggest companies and minerals and diamonds living from Liberia, but we will not get the benefit as people. So thank you. It was a good show, and thanks for having me.
Okay, all right, Mr. Tengbe, thank you so much. Also, very quickly, let me hear from my colleague as we close up.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Tengbe. To buttress that, we also have the worker union, whatever they call themselves, and the same thing that the minister and the other people they are doing, the worker union, they are also suppressing the workers as well. And it is too bad for our country. For those who really working, they're not getting the pay, and then the other little pay that they're getting, if anything happens to them, whether injury and things like that, they don't get a benefit. It's too bad for our country. Our own Liberian people suppressing our own Liberian people. Thank you very much, Mr. Tengbe, for the presentation. I think we need to address that situation, and we need to teach our people regarding those two components that he talked about, that we can blend them in order to make a better decent wage or minimum wage or whatever for the betterment of Liberia and Liberians. Thank you very much, Mr. Tengbe.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Solomon Bakarius. And we say many thanks to Mr. Josh S. Tengbe, an environmental justice advocate and a labor expert. Thanks for always answering to our call to come and educate our people on issues within the labor sector. And we hope to have you here another time as we discuss this issue. Many thanks to you out there for your listening role play, and others who follow us via our various social media platforms. Wednesday, by the special grace of God, we'll be here with another edition. From here in Central Moravia, do have yourself a blessed day. Ayo, 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 ayo.